Well, hello, everyone, and happy Sunday. Thank you so much for tuning into the Sisters Talk podcast. Today, we have very special guest, Will Harris. Will, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Definitely, definitely. So I actually found out about Will Harris, guys, through a mutual friend of mine. We went to school together, and he's like, "Have you checked out Will Harris? Like, do you know about him? Have you heard about him? Have you seen his podcast?" I'm like, "No, no." I was like super busy during this time period of my life, and this was like months ago. And so he came back around. He's like, I don't see Will Harris on your flyers. So like, what are you doing?" And I was like, you know what? Let me reach out. Let me reach out to him. I said, let me check him out first. Checked you out. It was one of your podcasts, and I do remember you said something under your Instagram account. You said people will always pass judgment on those that are different, and take that judgment and use it as a motivation to conquer all your obstacles. And I was like, bingo. This is the type of person that I want on the show because you think just like me, right?
Yep.
There's so many of us that we're different. We're different from our people, the people that we grew up around. We're different from our counterparts. We're different from a lot of people, and sometimes we suppress our greatness because of that difference. And I just felt like you resonated with me, like that message alone resonated with me. So without further ado, and before I introduce you, hi Demetria, thank you for tuning in today. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm in a little trouble with YouTube, guys. um Danny M just on here telling the truth, and sometimes you get slapped on the wrist for that. So, but still subscribe. I'll be able to upload in a few more weeks. Will Harris, you're in safe hands. Don't worry. But without further ado, I would like you to tell everybody who you are and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, of course. Again, thank you for the opportunity. My name is Will Harris. I have a podcast, like you said, called The Hustle with Will Harris. I guess the best way to describe, and I really, in this time, I hate using this terminology because it's kind of mainstream and a lot of people use it as a fad. But I would describe what I do as a serial entrepreneur. I have multiple businesses that I manage and have some teams that help me with that. A part of with doing a lot of business growth for other business owners, trying to help them and growing their business and being successful. And it's just my passion of being able to do it. So I wake up every day enjoying what I do. So I truly believe that's one of the biggest parts of why I'm successful. That and the support team that I have behind me. So.
Oh, absolutely. I love that. The fact that you have a team, that's
Mm-hmm.
what a lot of us fail in our businesses is that we don't really know how to formulate that team. So maybe we can have you back on, or even maybe you can talk about it today on how people who have these entrepreneurs who have these businesses, you have to keep it going. You have to keep the
Mm-hmm.
marketing up. You have to keep the conversations and the communication between yourself and the client. That's all key to good business. So maybe that's something you can sprinkle in on the show today.
Of
We have
course.
time. All right. So, and thank you so much for sharing that with us because I did notice as I was going through your Instagram profile that you do have a website here. You guys can see his website streaming across right now. It's the hustlemarketinganddesign.com website. So make sure you go check it out so you can get a little bit more familiar with Will Harris and some of the business that he's conducting right now. Could you tell us a little bit about what they're going to see if they go on this website?
Yeah, they're going to see, the services that we offer. We're actually in a stage to where we're updating our website. We've just over the past 2 or 3 months, our business has kind of boomed and flourished. So our portfolio has grown substantially. So we're trying to get those clients and their logos and everything on there so we can kind of showcase the work that we've done for them. But just like you said, it's been, it's a busy time of the year, and we've kind of lacked a little bit on the updating portion of that side, but it's only because we've, been supporting our clients so much and keeping them, they've been keeping us busy. So.
Oh, I can imagine. And then the holidays are coming up too. So, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
definitely, guys, you entrepreneurs, if you need help, make sure you go to that website that you see streaming along the line. So, speaking of some of your clients, and maybe this is one of them that I'm looking at, Black Rifle Coffee Company. They were established in 2014.
Yeah, we did. We did some design work for a sign for them. Great American company. Pro military and vet, which is very American and patriotic. Which we're proud to be a part with them and knowing one of the owners over there, real great guy. So yeah, that was definitely a blessing to have that opportunity, and we actually got that opportunity through another company, which is so important about networking. Um, on my podcast, a guy named Doc Wright, the owner of the Right Edge, he was the second guest of our podcast, was the one that introduced me to him and got me the opportunity. So definitely a special thanks to him, and doing that, because it was huge for us. So
That's awesome. Networking is key to growing business.
net, I was going to say, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Networking is one of the most underrated uh, things that entrepreneurs just tend to forget about, and you never know who you're going to run into and get business from if just putting yourself out there.
So
Even if you're an introvert, you just got to do it. So
yeah, and I've noticing a lot of business owners are introverted, and it really deters them from getting out, going to these social events, talking to people. And it's like, well, you don't know where tomorrow is going to bring you if you have that conversation. That uncomfortable conversation could bring you into millions the following year, or maybe even
yep,
sooner.
yep.
So the topic of today's segment is defining your success. And you are very impactful. Like I said, I've kind of looked through some of your podcasts, some of the special guests that you brought on. Just you do a lot. You are a serial entrepreneur. So you definitely define yourself in my eyes correctly. But I want to ask you, what has inspired you to become a public speaker?
Um, I'm very unorthodox when it comes to public speaking, and what I mean by that is I don't believe in the whole motivational speaking aspect. So I try to tell people what they need to hear and not what they want to hear. A lot of speakers, will get a crowd or a group of people hyped up on, this is how you make millions, or this is how you do a successful business, and this is what you need to do, and you need to get up and get it done. But then when it comes to the playbook of actually doing it and stuff that you need to learn about, it's crickets. So I wanted to do public speaking, and including with the podcast, and actually educate people on the stuff that really nobody wants to talk about, or in today's world, they're scared to talk about it because of someone passing judgment because they said something, and now they're deemed, oh, well, he's a liberal, or he's a conservative, or hey, he's racist, and that's not the case at all. It's just stuff that you need to hear, because these are battles that you're going to struggle through when building a business.
I love it. Definitely. And would you say, because we're all human and we all fall short of what our beliefs are, what our belief systems are, especially because of the way we've been raised. So would you say, is that what have you seen a lot of entrepreneurs fail or struggle due to their belief system?
100%. I think that's why a lot of entrepreneurs finally get out of their shell in their 30s and 40s, because it takes them through their 20s realizing I don't have to do what society has told me to do for years, which society in the US, you graduate high school, you go to college, you get married, you get a job, you have kids, boom, 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 all in your 20s. That's a lot of stressful events before you even really know who you are and what you want to do. Same concept of going to college, and then they're wanting you at 18, 19 years old to decide what you want to do for the rest of your life. It's not possible. Nobody knows what they want to do for the rest of, I don't want to say nobody, majority of the population do not know what they want to do with the rest of their life at 18, 19 years old. I know I didn't.
Yeah,
So
me either. That's a very solid point. A lot of us, we evolve every 10 to 15 years or so. So in my case, I would say I'm not the same person that I was 10 years ago or 10
no.
years prior to that. So wow, that right there, I'm just kind of at a pause, and I'm like, that really trickles into real life, not just business. It's like legitimately the friends that you have, the
Yeah.
relationships that you maintain, whether it's intimate or just casual or just friends, platonic friendships. You change, and we have to be able to embrace that. So that's a very key point right there.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, so let's talk a little bit about defining your success. I heard you talking on one of your shows about it. Could you kind of delve in a little bit about that topic and that idea, what you had behind that idea when you talked about it?
So when I say defining your own success, so many people chase other people's dreams of what they think is quote unquote success or happiness. And it's only because they don't know truly what they want. So they see other people that are doing, big things or good things. And And social media plays a huge part in that, because half the big things or the good things that you see on social media are not even necessarily true. So you're chasing almost like false advertisement, and you're chasing it for your life, which is pretty scary and a struggle. So people need to just sit back and realize, okay, what do I like to do, and what can I do that every day I'm going to be motivated to do that. To me, that's really the success. The money will come with that. Money's not shouldn't be measured in success, because I know people that have had lots of money, and even on my first podcast, a guy talked about having, making thousands of dollars a week, about $18,000 actually, and he was sleeping on his best friend's couch because he didn't know how to manage it at the time.
Oh wow.
And yeah, so that's $18,000 a week is a lot of money, but
Yeah.
obviously that's not, it shouldn't be measured as success if you're still sleeping on someone's couch. Now, granted, this guy he's very intelligent and smart, and he figured a way around it and didn't want to live that lifestyle, and realized what was going on. But too many people do that because they see that, and that's what they want to chase, but they don't know the backside of it, of what's coming with that. That's not really a successful lifestyle.
Oh
I tell everybody, the way I measure my own success, one of my biggest flexes, if you will, was when the day I was able to go to the grocery store and buy whatever groceries that I wanted and needed, and not have to worry about checking my bank account. And to this day, that is still one of the most important things to me, is being able to do that, because there's so many people that just can't do that, and we take it for granted. So,
Oh, yeah. I think one big takeaway from that particular example that you just gave us is that you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have any self discipline, it means zero, nothing.
yeah, oh yeah,
It means not a damn thing. So, for people who, and things happen to us in our lives to prepare us for greatness. But if we're not passing the test as we're, increasing in whatever it may be, whether it's finances, whether it's, physical, if you want fame, I don't know what your goal, what every individual goal is out there, but whatever it may be, if you're not progressing and growing eternally, and internally, then once you receive it, it's gonna be equivalent to you never having it, because as soon as it comes, it's gonna quickly leave you.
mm-hmm.
So I think that's a real good takeaway there is self-discipline is key, and
It
learning the
is.
lessons along the way, and not being afraid to make those mistakes so that you learn it. I think the main thing is that as long as you learn the lesson, right, you'll be able to embrace and just have a great time with whatever gift it is that you've created and developed for yourself.
Right. And going back to what you said about self-discipline, that's across the board. Even in not just financial, but even from building a business. What's more important to you? Do you want to figure out a better process for your invoicing, or do you want to sit on your phone and scroll through and just look at Instagram or go down the TikTok rabbit hole? So you just have to have that discipline to know what's important to you, and what's actually going to help your business grow.
Right. That's all facts, all facts. So, for people like yourself, even for people like me that have a podcast and we're just trying to educate people out there in the community, encouraging and motivating others can be very rewarding, but at the same time, it can be very draining depending on how you're doing it, whether or not you have a team, whether or not you're spending your time wisely, efficiently. So, could you tell us some of the challenges that have um, well, if you've had any challenges involved with doing what you do day to day.
We all have challenges for sure. Being an entrepreneur, one of the biggest ones that I've had, and friends of mine that are entrepreneurs have had, and I think everybody goes through it at some point, if not it being ongoing. And that's knowing who's there to support you and who's there to tear you down. When you hit a certain point of success or growth in your business, you will have people come out of nowhere to be a part of that success, whether it is to legit help you, or kind of hang on by your coattails. Either way, you have to learn how to recognize that, because not everybody is your friend, and not everybody is there to really support you. And that's been a struggle for me at the beginning stages of when I was building businesses. I just thought, okay, hey, all these people want to help me, when very clearly after a couple of months that wasn't the case, and it was actually slowing my growth down. So learning the word no is definitely key when growing your business, and you can't lose focus on what you're doing from outside noises of people that are trying to get in on that.
So that is, you're just hitting all these key points. So true, so real. And you see a lot of people when they do gain this success, they're always saying, oh, I thought I had so many friends, but like my circle's so small now, because you start realizing some people that you started out with can't accept your growth. They
Yep.
cannot accept where you are today because they're so used to where you've always been, right?
Right.
Yep. Okay. Hey, Gerard, thank you for joining us today, and good evening to you as well. All right. We have Miss Tara who says, that's been my struggle as well. Not everyone is there to support you.
And that's one of the things that I tell people: be prepared as an entrepreneur to have a small circle, because it's inevitable. It's going to happen. You're going to have people fall off, and you're going to learn real quick who that true friend is. And that's what I try to tell when I speak at high schools. The same thing, because that's one of the things that we don't tell our students in education. You
That's
know,
right.
it's like, yeah, it's like, oh, well, be friends with everybody and be social, which is great. You're trying to build that mentality, but the reality of it is it doesn't happen. So and everybody just needs to realize that for sure.
For sure, it's not real life, right? I
No.
had to go through that myself. I was just in this fairy tale, like I thought everyone was supposed to kumbaya together, hold my hand, I need help with this, or I want you to go with me to do this. Like in real life, people have real issues, they have real struggles, they have real families, they have real hopes and aspirations for themselves. And sometimes when some of their friends, they see their friends taking off before them, this is all perception. Sometimes that ruffles feathers. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
It's not intentional for people who are going through this. I've already been through it. I've had to do a process of elimination myself, just as a cleanse for self, right? So that I could refocus, and also to maintain my own sacred energy. A lot of people are energy vampires, right? They'll
Hmm.
call you up, Will, and be like, hey, I'm starting this project. I just want to know your ideas. And even though it's something as innocent as that type of question, right? That conversation could go on for hours, and then those hours can turn into days, and those days can turn into weeks, and you have your own projects that you have to work on. So
Yep.
I think what you said is golden. Learning how to say no and not feeling bad about it, that's what we have to start doing, setting those
Exactly.
intentions. Definitely. I love that answer. So, for those who are still finding themselves during this transitional period, and I mean like with everything that we see going on since the end of 2019 up until about right now, what would be your advice to people who are new entrepreneurs or people who are struggling in their businesses right now?
Um, Obviously, the golden answer would be to not give up. But the reality of it is, this is what you signed up for. So you have to remember why you're doing this. And if you can't remember why you're doing this, or if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, this is when a true entrepreneur is actually defined. Um, Especially back, in 2020, when COVID hit, that's when the entrepreneurial spirit really came to life, and people that had to make adjustments, because that's what you have to do as an entrepreneur. You learn, you execute, you learn, you execute. And sometimes you quote unquote fail, which, is not really a failure. You just have experience to do something different. And that's the time we live in. We had to adapt. You couldn't do sales meetings face to face with your business. And as a new business, that's hard. So then you're trying to schedule Zooms, or you're learning a different way to get your product or anything out there. And then if you were doing, something that was kind of overseas, to where you had product coming overseas and selling it, that was just done, because importing, exporting was, literally almost shut down, if not shut down altogether, depending on what you're trying to get across. So again, the biggest thing is just remember why you're doing what you're doing, and if it is truly your passion, you'll figure it out. And I can't I can't stress that enough. Ask questions and network. And the times like this that are, a struggle during transition, they will become easier and easier, because you're always going to have a struggle, and you're always going to have a transition. Either you grew too fast, or you're not growing fast enough, or your manufacturer shut down and you got to find another manufacturer. As a business owner, it's always going to be something. So that's something that you just have to prepare for and be ready for.
I love that. And Basim, thank you for tuning in. He says one of the key points is everyone is not meant to travel the road that's meant for you. That's
100%.
agree. I agree 100%. So, what changes have you seen via social media over the last 2 years?
Oh gosh. Uh, this might get you in trouble.
Hold on now. I'm going to edit this. So,
No.
go ahead and go for what you know.
No. The problem with social media is it's a good tool if you're mature enough to use it. And a lot of people are just not mature enough to use social media. I'm not saying a majority, I'm just saying a lot. The reason for that is, everybody overnight becomes a doctor, and then overnight everybody becomes the president or a politician, and then the next day everybody becomes, a business owner and telling somebody how to do or run their business. And the thing is when social media started, that's not what it was for. Especially when Facebook first started, it was just for college students. Uh, Social media is what it is. It's supposed to be for networking. That's why I'm a very supporter of LinkedIn for that reason. Uh, but the other thing is too, when people complain about social medias and stuff, and I just had this conversation the other day. You control who you follow and what you read. You also control what you believe and what you research. And if you're one to just share something that can change somebody's opinion about something without doing any research, you're just being irresponsible, to be honest with you. So I think, going back to your question, and I know that didn't really answer it. In the past 2 years, we've seen a big change in social media for what it's been used for and what the true purpose of social media was supposed to be for, which is unfortunate. But I think after, and if ever we go back to some normalcy, quote unquote, and I use that term very loosely with what's going on due to politics and sickness and racism and everything that the media blasts. Um, I think we'll see a shift in it. I think the regulations and everything are going to be a lot tighter. I don't know if you saw what Abbott was trying to do, or I'm not sure if he accomplished it or if it passed or not. I need to research that, but um, basically, social media can't ban you or pause your account, or you can make them liable and go after them and suit or something like that. I briefly read it. I need to touch up on it, but that's baffled me that a governor had to be involved in something that was like for social media. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, so to be honest with you, I don't know what we're going to see in the next 2 to 3 years when it comes to social media. There's no telling.
Yeah.
There's no telling if it's yeah. There's no telling if it's going to be around because right now, right,
It's getting so crazy. Like, it's
it's
getting
all over the
crazy.
place. It's all over
Yeah.
the place. It really is. And then the amount of catfishing that goes on social media too, which is hard to be uh, anybody on social media, especially a business owner, because I know I probably report 2 to 3 fake accounts a month that are
Wow.
my accounts of myself.
Well,
So I
it's
do
funny, when
hope.
I started out with this podcast, like 2 years ago, somebody created a duplicate account that was exactly like mine,
Yeah,
and I had to delete and block them. I was like, why would you? I haven't even gotten started yet. What are you doing?
yeah, and I don't know what the purpose is or why those get done. I don't know what they're getting out of it.
No,
So it's which is even more baffling because I mean, unless they're asking people for money for support,
possibly.
that I guess. But I hope that everybody checks the profile and make sure that it's legit. I can tell you, I'm never going to ask for money on Instagram. So
Or GoFundMe or
yeah,
whatever,
or
or
GoFundMe or
PayPal.
anything like that. So
Oh my goodness. Well, yeah,
mm,
I mean, you pretty much answered the question. Because like I said, there is a lot going on social media. There's a lot of content. There's a lot of information, misinformation, a lot of opinions thrown loosely. I will admit, and that's just kind of been the vibe.
yeah,
So I'm looking forward to see how within the next 3 to 5 years, that's a long time from now, how things will change on social media. Because right now it seems like they are trying to clamp down so that way the misinformation isn't being spread
yeah,
worldwide. Not everybody has the ability to make clear and sound judgments, I will admit.
yeah,
So it is important, especially us as public speakers, so to speak, For some of us that are doing just basic podcasts, you're doing much more, Will Harris. But there's some of us that, we use our podcast to get our voice heard. We do have to be
Right.
responsible about the content that we get out there. So
Yeah.
totally agree.
And people have to remember too, and I say this and it grabs a lot of attention, but it's true. Even news stations, we have to remember they're a business and they're going to put stuff out there that has high ratings. So
Everyone.
it's not necessarily always the truth. And I don't care what you listen to. I don't care if it's CNN, NBC, ABC. They all do it. I'm not saying that I'm a supporter of one or the other or all three, or I lean to one way. I'm just saying that they're all businesses, and that's what they do. So people really research before you believe in anything, because
Right.
you know it'll definitely help save your credibility.
That's for sure. And sometimes in some cases, as we've seen, it can save your life as well. So
That
yes, you
too.
are going to get me in trouble. So I'm going to edit all of this out before I put it up. No, but it's the honest facts. So I appreciate
Hmm.
that coming from you. Also, I just wanted to say that you're doing a lot. Again, we said that at the beginning of the podcast. So I really want to thank you for taking out a little bit of your time on Sunday to talk it over with me at Sisters Talk, and also to share very vital information to the audience, especially you business owners that are coming out this year who have started as of last year. I know you need a lot of support. So Will Harris, make sure you go follow him, guys, on Instagram. You can see his IG link streaming across right now, Willing to Thrive. And I like that because you have to have a will to thrive to be successful. So it's
Hmm.
just like you're just right in sync. So tell us how we can support you. And if there's any more information that I may not have displayed, please shout it out.
Yeah, of course, the support. This was awesome. I appreciate your time and the opportunity again. I'm more than happy to do this again in the future. If you're ever in the Dallas area and you want to hop on my show and we can go, um, you know, go round and round for an hour at least, and just chat about business, I'm more than happy to do it. But
Yeah.
I think from the support y'all have given me, it's been great. And for everyone listening, uh, if you have a question, or maybe want an opinion, or anything business related, please feel free to shoot me a DM on Instagram. That's the quickest way to really get in touch with me. And yep, and check out our website and look at our services. We're our campaign and mission is we grow together. So that's we'd be more than happy to help anybody on their growth to success in their business.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. We were talking real today. So if that gets me in trouble, well, all right then. Let's do it. So I'm going to remove you from the stream briefly. Again, thank you so much, Will Harris. I do want to speak with you a few moments behind the scenes, but let me talk to the audience first.
Yep, go ahead.
All right. All right, guys. So we just had special guest Will Harris on our show today. I hope you guys thoroughly enjoyed it. I did. He was keeping it real as always. Guys, if you want to check out more of his content and really get to know who he is and what his business is all about, make sure you follow him on his Instagram account. You're going to see it down below, Willing to Thrive. Also, I just kind of want to give you guys a heads up. I'll see you next Sunday. I'm going to have the originator, the creator, and the co-host of Raw Take on the show. So guys, if you don't know who they are, make sure you go to YouTube, type in Raw Take, and you should be able to pull up all of their podcasts. They keep it extra real on that show. Okay. So, and they do many other things. So I'm looking forward to interviewing them on next Sunday. So make sure you tune in at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And I'm going to put it down here below. And guys, make sure you like, comment, and share this video today. Very important gems were dropped. The topic again was defining your success. All right, guys. So until I see you again, you guys be safe, stay blessed. Turn up. Tomorrow's Monday. Grab some coffee, and we get off to the races as usual, guys. I'll see you next Sunday.